Hi everyone, I'm Laton Vermette, a PhD student in Simon Fraser University's IX lab, and I'd like to introduce you to our work examining how instructors integrated an example-based customization sharing platform into their course management workflows. So instructors can face a steep learning curve when they try to customize feature-rich applications like learning management systems, or LMSs, which they often need to adapt to the unique demands of their courses. So for example, an instructor like Sam here might need to dig through a bunch of settings pages to figure out how to change aspects of the LMS's look and feel or its functionality to best support the unique circumstances of their grade level, subject, teaching methods, or plenty of other factors. And that might differ greatly from how other instructors set up their courses, like how Alice might need to restructure her course pages, or how Bob might need to install external plugins that add extra features he needs in the LMS. And learning all these different ways to customize can place a lot of extra burden on instructors. Now, instructors are often too busy to spend a bunch of time reading through documentation or tutorials to learn all about the features of their LMS. So they might instead turn to online Q&A sites to get social help. But we've seen that more complex questions, especially about customization, tend to be less likely to receive answers there. On the other hand, many instructors prefer to learn by borrowing examples of how their own colleagues have set up their software. But finding relevant customizations can be challenging, and sharing examples manually still takes time for both parties. There can also be risks involved in making changes to student-facing software where there might be unintended side effects. So a lot of instructors are understandably a bit hesitant to experiment with customizing their courses. To provide a more streamlined alternative for instructors, we previously designed and tested a platform called Customizer, which allowed instructors to easily share example customizations with one another inside the Canvas LMS, and to try out those examples within a safe testing environment. And our prior paper at DIS 2020 explored findings from our lab-based usability tests, where instructors were largely fond of the design, and promisingly, most of them wanted to use it with their real courses. But to get to that stage of wider use in real-world contexts, we faced some broader questions around how this approach would fare at supporting a range of instructors in practice with all of their own diverse needs and circumstances. So in particular, the main questions that we sought to answer in this work were, how do instructors of varied backgrounds incorporate example-based customization sharing into their day-to-day course management workflows? And what variations exist in how they perceive and apply these example-based customization sharing features? To investigate these questions, we needed to extend Customizer's original design to facilitate longer-term usage and real interactions between users. So in our new design, Customizer's sidebar that appears on every Canvas LMS page provides several recommendations of customizations shared by colleagues, weighted by how relevant they are to the current page and their popularity with other instructors. And users can click on any of these suggestions to open up more details, like the author's full explanations and information about what parts of the LMS each customization affects. We also included Q&A threads here, where instructors can discuss or get help. So from this dialogue, users can import customizations directly into their courses, or instead use the Try It feature to test them out first. So in this Try It mode, Customizer generates a test copy of the user's real course with one or more shared customizations applied, letting them interactively explore how they work, and importantly, do so without any permanent changes or consequences. And finally, we extended the scope of Customizer's authoring tools, which automatically generate a list of a user's own customizations that they've made to their courses, to which they can then add their own rationale and share them with other instructors. So having extended the design, we proceeded to conduct a 2-week field deployment of Customizer to 10 university instructors, aiming to capture a variety of experience levels, roles, and teaching subjects, like I was mentioning earlier. And afterwards, we conducted follow-up interviews to get in-depth insights into the nuances of their perceptions and their usage behavior. So what did we learn? Well, to start out with, we saw a great deal of usage of Customizer's features for discovery and exploration across our participants. And we noted that 4 of our 10 participants were willing to share examples of their favorite customizations into the system, which is pretty substantial considering that most content sharing systems have a far lower rate of active participation. So as one example, P6 here shared a customization that lets instructors log how students are using the LMS while they take a quiz, explaining that it can be used to deter students from cheating or inform future improvements to the quiz. And on the whole, almost all participants felt positive about continuing to use Customizer with their real courses over the long term, especially for things like helping them discover new features and for testing out new changes to their courses. And as for ways instructors were using Customizer to complement their workflows, there was a great deal of diversity in how they valued different features and use cases. I'll go through two of the most important ones, and I'll leave the others for you to read about in the paper. So most instructors noted that they found Customizer useful as a sort of always available tool for serendipitous learning throughout their usual day-to-day Canvas usage. Or as P2 put it, you can easily go, is there anything that somebody suggested about this page? You might not need anything, but maybe if you're just curious, you can kind of scroll through like, oh, this is something nice that I've never thought of. And along the same lines, some instructors felt that Customizer gave them more opportunities to take control of their learning and experiment more. Like P3, who said, a colleague just briefly told me, oh, this is how I did automatic grade weighting. So I knew it existed, but I didn't know the details. But Customizer gave me the opportunity to try things out and look it up at my own pace. Beyond that, many participants also appreciated how they could avoid some of the social burden of bugging their colleagues for help. So for example, P7 thought a major advantage is you can learn entirely by yourself. You don't have to rely on anyone, especially for someone who's introverted like me. On the other hand, more experienced instructors also felt Customizer could help streamline some of their knowledge-sharing routines and avoid having to manually write up instruction emails or screenshots every time they give help. So P6, who frequently helped other instructors with Canvas, said she could totally see Customizer being like the starting point for instructors. I could just tell them, hey, go to the Customizer system, take a look, and see what other people have done. So to wrap up, one of the main takeaways here is that this example-based customization sharing approach seemed to be successfully supporting instructors' individual workflows in a variety of different ways. And while field study methods always involve some trade-offs, our deployment approach was useful for garnering rich empirical insights into how instructors made use of example-based customization sharing tools in practice. And finally, we put forward some promising future extensions to these design concepts, such as tailoring suggested examples to suit an instructor's level of experience with the LMS. And if you're interested to learn more, I would encourage you to check out our full paper, and feel free to get in touch with any questions. Thanks for watching.